Okay, so knock, 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 and I'm washing my hands. Hi, my name's Blake. I'm a registered nurse and a family nurse practitioner student at UNC Wilmington. I'm gonna be doing your neuro exam today. Is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So first thing I'm gonna do is start with your cranial nerve exam. So I'm gonna start with cranial nerve number 1, your olfactory nerve. So I'm gonna have you close the nostril and take a deep breath in. All right, and then try on the other side. Awesome. So I'm gonna have you close your eyes and cover one nostril, and I'm gonna have you smell something. You tell me what it is, okay? All right. Ready? Smell this.
Coffee.
Awesome. So since the smell is intact, and then I'm going to do your second cranial nerve, which is your optic nerve. So I'm gonna have you come. Normally I'd have you go 20 feet away, but this specific one is only 6 feet away. So I'm gonna have you stand back here. Right here to this line is 6 feet away. All right. So what I'm gonna have you do is cover your left eye and take a look at this card, the smallest one that you can read.
EFTZO.
Okay, good. So can you read anything below that?
DPSUJ.
Okay. All right. So your right eye is 20/30. I'm gonna have you cover your other eye. All right. Now the smallest you can read.
CPJHJ.
Okay. How about take a look at the line above it?
EFTSO. ZO.
ZO. Okay. So I would say 20/30 in both eyes, and then can you read it with both eyes?
EFTZO.
Okay, perfect. So your vision would be 20/30. And then what I'm having you do is sit back down, and we're going to test your peripheral vision. So what I'm going to have you do is cover one eye. All right. Now you're just going to look straight at my nose and look nowhere else. I'm going to put up some hands with a couple of fingers, and you're going to tell me how many fingers I'm putting up, okay?
Okay.
Ready?
2.
Okay.
1.
Okay.
2.
Okay.
4.
Okay. And then we'll switch eyes. Awesome. So,
1.
okay.
2.
Okay.
4.
Okay.
3.
Okay, good. So your peripheral vision is intact. And then what I'm going to have you do is we're going to test cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6. So we're going to test your ocular motor, your trochlear, and your abducens nerves. So what I'm going to do is take a look at your eyes real quick with this light. I'm just going to dim these lights real quick. Do you mind just hitting that? Thank you. All right. So let's take a look. All right. All right. And we'll measure them real quick. So we've got about a 4. So your pupils are about a 4. They're round. Their pupils are equal, round, reactive, and they're concentric to light. And then also I'm going to have you follow my pen real quick, all the way, good, and then all the way out. So pupils constrict and your eyes converge, which is great. And then what I'm going to do is have you follow my pen with only your eyes. Okay. All right, that's good. So EOMs are intact, they're smooth, coordinated, there's no nystagmus, which is good. And then what I'm going to have you do is stare at me and stare off at the cabinet back there. All right, now stare back at me. Awesome. And your pupils dilate and then they get smaller, which is good. So now what I'm going to do is test your trigeminal nerve. So I am going to have you bite down, okay? And I'm going to test your temporal, and I'm going to test your masseter, all right? And it's very strong, that's good. All right, you can stop biting. And then what I'm having you do is close your eyes, and I'm going to be touching 3 different spots in your face. You tell me when I'm touching you, okay?
Okay.
All right, ready? Close your eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so intact to dull. And now what I'm going to do is it's going to be a little sharp, okay? So I'm going to have you close your eyes. Tell me when you feel it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, good. So sharp is intact as well. That's good. And then we would do the corneal reflex as well. So I would come into by the side, normally I drop water, and your eye should blink to that response. And then the next nerve that I'm going to be testing is nerve number 7, which is your facial nerve. Sorry, it takes me a second. Your facial nerve. So what I'm going to do is have you do some funny things. I'm going to have you lift your eyebrows up and look up at the same time. Awesome, good. So eyebrows are symmetrical. And then I'm going to have you close your eyes, squeeze them real tight, and don't let me open them, okay? Awesome, good. Strength is great, and it's symmetric on both sides. And then what I'm going to have you do is smile for me, real big. Awesome, so smile is symmetric. I'm going to have you show your teeth. Awesome, symmetrical. And then I'm going to have you puff up your cheeks. Awesome, good. I'm just going to press down. Awesome, good. So strength is good there as well. And then I'm going to have you frown. Just drop your, yep, awesome, good. And symmetric on both sides. There's no issues there. And then for the next one, I'm going to do your auditory. So that is cranial nerve number 8. So normally what I would do is I would have, I would do the whisper test. And so I would whisper on both sides and the sound should be heard on both sides. And then I would do the Weber test. And so you should be able to hear the sound on both sides equally with the Weber test. And then with the Rennie test, you should be able to hear air conduction greater than bone conduction on both sides. And then the next one would be your glossopharyngeal and your vagus nerves, which are 9 and 10. And so for the glossopharyngeal, I'm going to have you swallow. All right, and I'm just going to feel right here, swallow. All right, good. And it looks symmetric and it feels symmetric on both sides. Any difficulty swallowing? No? Okay. And then so I don't have a tongue depressor, but normally I press down on the tongue. I'm going to have you open your mouth real quick. And I'm going to have you say ah.
Ah.
Okay. And the uvula rises and falls midline, which is good. Deviation usually indicates something wrong, but it rises and falls midline. And then I would elicit a gag response as well to test your vagus nerve. However, I'm not going to do that to you. And you should have a gag response if I were to poke you the back of your throat with a like a tongue depressor or a what is it, like a cotton tip applicator. And then the next nerve that I'm going to test is nerve 11, which is your spinal accessory nerve. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna press on your forehead and you're not gonna let me push you backwards, okay? Ready? Awesome. And now I'm gonna push from the back. Don't let me push you forward. Awesome. And then I'm gonna put my hand here. Don't turn your head towards me and I'm gonna push against you. Awesome, good. And then I'm gonna do it on the other side. Great. So strength is equal all around. And then what I'm going to do as well as have you shrug as I push down. All right, and strength is equal bilaterally on both sides. And then the next nerve that I'm going to test is your hypoglossal nerve. So what I'm gonna have you do is stick out your tongue. Awesome, and your tongue is midline, which is great. And then I'm gonna have you move your tongue side to side. Awesome, perfect. So movements are intact bilaterally. And then what I'm gonna have you do is press against your cheek. All right, and I'm gonna push against it. I'm testing your strength. Awesome, other side. Perfect. So strength is equal, strong, intact. And then we finished all your cranial nerves, so I'm gonna start your cerebellar function. So for this one, I'm gonna have you stand up. And I'm gonna have you come over here, and I'm gonna have you walk about 5 feet. I'm gonna be on both sides of you in case you feel a little unsteady. And then I'm going to have you walk on your tiptoes about 5 feet. Okay. Good. All right, you can stop there. All right, so balance is smooth, well coordinated. You're able to maintain balance with that. So I'm gonna have you walk on your heels. Okay, good. So again, coordinated, smooth, and it's well balanced. And then what I'm gonna have you do is we're gonna do the Romberg test now. So I'm gonna have you stand facing Joanna over here. All right, and you're gonna put your feet together. All right, and you can put your arms out in front of you. I'm gonna stand on both sides of you just for safety, and then you're gonna close your eyes and maintain your balance. Okay, good. All right, so able to maintain balance very well, so that's awesome. And then what I'm gonna have you do now is sit back down. All right. So now we're gonna test some fine coordination movements. So what I'm gonna have you do is start with your hands on your legs, on your thighs, and then I'm gonna have you touch the back of your hands and then your palms, and then keep doing that. All right. And then I'm gonna have you do it as fast as you possibly can. Okay, good. So it's fast, it's rhythmical, and it's coordinated, so that's very good. And then what I'm gonna have you do now is you're going to put your arms up in the air, and you're gonna close your eyes, and you're gonna touch your nose with your left and then your right, and do that continuously. All right, good. Okay, so that was well coordinated. Movements were intact and they were synced, and there was no deviation. And then what I'm going to have you do is for the next one, I'm going to have you look straight up at me, and I'm going to have you touch your heel to your leg and go down and up your leg in a straight line. Okay? Good. And then I'll have you do the other side. Okay, good. So you're able to move your heel up and down your leg in a straight line, which is good. And then for the next thing that I'm going to do is test your reflexes. So I'm going to start with your bicep. So I'm going to start on this side. And I'm going to have you come up and over, and I'm going to have you relax your arm as good as you can. Try squeezing your toes for me. Awesome. All right, good. So +2 bicep. And then what I'm going to have you do is relax your arm right here, and I'm going to test your, oh God, what's it called? Your brachioradialis. So I'm going to go like right about here, okay, and like a little bit of movement, so about +2 there. And then I'm going to lift up your arm, and I'm going to have you relax it for me, and squeeze your toes again, think about your toes. All right, and +2 on your tricep reflex. And I'm going to test your feet. So I'm going to have you pull at your arms a little bit for me. All right. And so your patellars are +2. Patellars are +2, and then I'm going to test your Achilles. So I can feel you pressing down with that. So that's a +2 as well. They're +2 all over. And that concludes the neuro exam.